From dawn till dusk, Ford trucks are with you every mile of the way. And we'd like to say thank you, Farm Bureau, for your partnership and support to help make Ford F-Series the best-selling pickup in America once again.
Consumers are having sticker shock as they walk down the aisles of their grocery store. Last month, food prices were up more than 8% compared to the same period last year. It's not just costing more to buy the foods people love, it's also costing farmers more to produce them.
Many of our consumers across the country and really around the world are facing and experiencing high food costs and inflation. That inflation hits the farm gate level as well. Many of our members are experiencing high fuel costs, as are the consumers at the pump. Our farmers are facing high fertilizer costs due to shortages from around the world and strong demand. At the same time, they're experiencing high labor costs, no different than any other business and industry in this country. Unfortunately for our farmers, they don't have the ability to pass those costs along to the consumers, similar to what a normal processor or marketer would do. And, that's part of the reason we are seeing higher food inflation and inflation costs in general is because the manufacturers of the products that our farmers produce on a daily basis, those manufacturers get to pass those along. Our farmers can. Again, fuel costs are up, energy costs are up. Those all have to be factored in. So while our farmers might be getting paid more for the commodities that they sell, beef, pork, poultry, eggs, milk, they're also experiencing higher costs, which is dramatically cutting in to their profitability options at the farm level. So while they're getting paid more, they're also having to spend a lot more.
Volatility across the globe is also impacting on-farm production decisions.
We're seeing a little bit of a shift from corn production over to soybean production. And a lot of that does have to do with input costs, but also availability. So we've seen real challenges in getting different herbicides to the farm level, as well as getting different fertilizers to the farm level. So that's also playing an impact, not just necessarily those costs, but also that availability. And I think we will probably see some farmers look to cutting nitrogen levels on the farm. Because that one has been really, really impacted. We're seeing anhydrous prices up over 100%, nearly 200% just from a year ago, and those were already on the rise prior to that. So we'll see some changes on the farm, but I don't think it's going to be huge. We're going to stop planting a bunch of acres unless Mother Nature forces us to do that. But we will see little changes here and there, I think, on individual farms.
It's going to be very hard to shift around the type of livestock production that we do. Beef cattle operations are set up to raise beef cattle, swine operations for swine, poultry, and dairy, etc. So they're probably not going to shift away from production, but they might have a shift in production. By that I mean downsizing a bit, depending upon what their profitability levels look like on the farm operation. We have tools in place that allow us to set some future prices for our product. And if the future price is not there, we may downsize a bit, or we're certainly going to be looking for every opportunity that we have, to lock those prices in and hopefully be able to lock a profit in. I do get concerned about what's going on worldwide, especially in Ukraine right now, the impact that potentially will have on overall grain production, not only in Ukraine, but what does that mean for the worldwide situation? And then what if we have a hiccup in a weather situation here in the United States that impacts the amount of production that happens from a grain standpoint? Obviously, what happens from a grain standpoint will have an impact on direct costs to our livestock producers. If corn and soybean prices continue to rise, that has a direct impact on feed costs. I guess the most basic and simple advice that we could offer is if you have an opportunity to lock in your input costs at a level that you're comfortable with and lock in a market price for your commodities at a level you're comfortable with, to try to use as many risk management tools as possible. Certainly our members are encouraged to do that. That's critically important.